What's going on, everybody? Over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be running through and speed running a first round mock draft for the 2023 NFL draft. So the 2022 draft just wrapped up. We're on to 2023. And if you're interested in getting a head start on watching some of the prospects for next year, over on my newsletter, which I'll link in the description below, I have compiled 314 names, actually 315 names, for players who I think will be drafted next year should they decide to declare. You see there's quite a loaded quarterback field. 41 quarterbacks in total who I've looked at already briefly and have said they can be drafted next year. And obviously, there's some guys in there like Bryce Young, who we know quite well could be a first-round pick. And there's some guys in there like Cameron Ward, who maybe are mid-round selections versus guys like Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA, who might not get drafted. So there are a lot of dudes in this whole process. But it's a pretty comprehensive list of players. You can go check that out. And there's a load of guys for every position, at least a dozen players at every position. And I would highly encourage you to check that out if you want to get an idea of who to look at for this coming draft class. Because it is this coming draft class. Now we're past 2022. But anyways, let's just get right into this mock draft. I don't want to waste too much time. This draft order is put together by mock draft database. I did nothing to fit this draft order. So you don't like the draft order, don't come at me at all. It's not mine, okay? I did not set this up. But anyways, we are using mock draft database to do this. So if there is an issue with the simulator, if I miss someone who should have been picked in the first round, I'm looking at their board, and I don't have a board built for myself yet, so understand we're kind of working through this together. But Atlanta, if Atlanta's picking first overall, I know you just took Desmond Ridder, and I know you got Marcus Mariota under contract. I don't care. You're taking a quarterback no matter what. Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. Bryce Young is probably more fundamentally sound, but he is a much smaller guy, and you have to worry a little bit about some of the things that afflicted Tua in the NFL. The fact he wasn't able to hit every throw. I mean, they tweeted out a video today of him underthrowing Tyreek Hill like it was a good thing. So I think there's some issues there that maybe I'm just copying and pasting my concerns about Tua onto Bryce Young. I'll have to go back and check on that. But C.J. Stroud to me is the more not as fundamentally sound as Bryce Young certainly, but he's the more prototypical quarterback at this point for the NFL. So I'm going to have Atlanta take him first overall. Houston comes on the board. I really don't know what Davis Mills is going to do this year. I can't even venture to guess what he'll do. But for the sake of it, I'm going to draft Bryce Young just because I don't think Davis Mills is legitimately a long-term answer for a franchise that wants to win a Super Bowl. So I'm going to take Bryce Young here. Puts Detroit on the clock in a really bad situation. I should have thought this ahead a little bit because Detroit wants to take a quarterback because at some point, you have to move on from Jared Goff. And they're in the same situation this year or in 2023 as they were in 2022, where they have an early first-round pick and a late first-round pick. And frankly, I wouldn't be shocked if they traded both those away to move up to first overall and get the quarterback they want. So it would make sense at that point if they're in that rebuilding stage and they're trying to get past that point. But right now, looking at the quarterbacks who are available, I don't like Will Levis to be that high. I don't like Spencer Rattler at all, frankly, as of right now. There's too many issues there. There's way too many issues. Tyler Van Dyke to do to be the next best guy. The Lions do like Jared Goff quite a bit. They're willing to be patient with him. They like him a lot in the organization. And there's just really no quarterback who jumps to me as a guy who I'd take a third overall. Now, you could get Will Anderson Jr., but I really don't think that defensive front needs that. They don't. They got so many defensive linemen already. I've really pinned myself into a bad spot here. I thought I was going to get this done in 10 minutes. It's going to be much more difficult than I was thinking. We're going to go Jalen Carter for the interior defensive line. Probably the best defensive lineman in this draft class. Not counting the edge rushers, certainly. Brings up Seattle. The Seahawks. I can't imagine they're going to have both of their wide receivers around for much longer. I think wide receivers are going to eventually become an issue for Seattle. Quarterbacks is already an issue for Seattle. Quarterbacks is a much bigger issue for them, actually, than it is for Detroit. And so as much as I hate to do this, I'm going to give a quarterback to Seattle. And I understand it might sound hypocritical because I didn't do it for Detroit. I think Seattle's just more desperate. And frankly, I think Seattle is more prone to reaching for guys. So I'm going to give him Tyler Van Dyke, a dude who showed some promise this past year who got a chance to start for Miami, which wasn't really expected to do when De'Aaron King got hurt. So Taylor Van Dyke showed some promise. He has to develop quite a bit before he is ready to be a first-round pick. He might just go back to school in 2024. Or he might go back to school in 2023, excuse me. I think it's a real possibility. And then 2024, he could be a first-round pick. But for now, this is all projection. We're very early in this process. I still have to go back and watch all these guys again. So takes us to the Jets. The Jets this past year, edge rusher, wide receiver, cornerback, all in the first round. What do they need? What is that? What do the Jets actually need now? Well, let's look at the overall board, see who's left. Interior defensive lineman. I don't know how much is like Quinn Williams at this point because he has not broken out quite yet. It's been a little bit of a process with him. They're still waiting on him to get past that point. Looking at across this board, Jordan Addison might be the best player available, frankly. I think Jordan Addison or Jackson Smith-Njigba will be the best. Oh, wait, no. What am I doing? I'm sorry. I'm overthinking. I apologize. I'm just going to take Will Anderson Jr. and just let it go. He might not be a scheme fit. I really don't give a darn. He's just too good to get past the top 5, frankly. Brings Jacksonville to the board. What are the Jaguars need? I'm doing this all off memory, by the way. I haven't actually looked. I know I got a depth chart up here. I haven't actually opened that. So I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. Just run through this. I think they need – I know they've invested in wide receiver. I think they invested poorly in wide receiver. I think they'll realize that this year, and they'll realize they have not helped out Trevor Lawrence nearly enough. Jackson Smith-Njigba was actually the best receiver on Ohio State's offense this past year, better than Chris Olave, better than Garrett Wilson. He's going to go 6 overall, so I can stop probably mispronouncing his last name. Carolina at 7. At this point, Carolina was going to have a new starting head coach. Probably going to find a way to move on from Sam Darnold. They might have a new general manager as well. So, what are they going to do? What's going to be the defining pick, their first pick in the NFL draft? What's going to define their future? They took Matt Corral this year. I don't think that really matters in the long run. Oh, boy. What are we going to do? What actually are we going to do here? Going down the board, they got good depth at both wide receiver and cornerback, somewhat of a need, but not a massive need. I'm actually aiming to take a quarterback here. We're going to go back to a very quarterback-centric draft next year. I'm projecting, at least. Looking at the guys available, I wish I liked someone to be more of a top 10 pick than I do right now. Because I like these guys, I do. But I don't love any of them to be a top 10 pick, frankly. Will Levis seems to be the dude. I'll just give it to him by nature of I don't like anyone else more, but I think there will be 4 quarterbacks taken in the top, I'll say 12 picks next year. I believe that. Brings up Chicago. Who's the top wide receiver available? It's Jordan Addison. Heck yes, you desperately need a wide receiver help. You should have drafted more wide receivers this year. The Giants are on the board. They're going to have a new quarterback next year. Are they going to draft one right here? Probably not. Offensive tackle, they just took one. They actually had their bookend tackles already set in place. So we're going to look at the overall board. I wouldn't be shocked. They just cut James Bradbury. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to move on from Brian Brzez's contract, or not from Leonard Williams' contract as their current defensive tackle. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to move on from him at some point in the near future. In which case, Brian Brzee would really be in play for them. I think cornerback would probably actually be a bigger need based on what the roster looks like right now. People are projecting a jump for Kelee Ringo. I'd rather go with a guy who I feel is already a little bit more established than Eli Ricks, although he did just recently get arrested, so people are going to have to look at that. That's going to be a concern, I'm sure, for a lot of teams, but if he passes through that, I think he's got a good shot to be the top cornerback taken. But Ringo could as well. They're both up there. Washington just drafted a wide receiver. They got Sam Howell at quarterback. I'm not going to give him a quarterback. They got Carson Wentz as well. I think corner is the need for them as well, and they didn't really address that to as much as I would have hoped they should have this year. So we'll give him Kelee Ringo. That'll be the Ringo pick. Pittsburgh, my Steelers are on the board. All right, there's got to be some good talent left, right? Right? Brian Brzee, Miles Murphy, my 2 Clemson boys are both out there. I would love to give one of them to Pittsburgh, but frankly, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. We just took Marvin Leal to play probably a defensive tackle role for us, at least a hybrid role for us. Miles Murphy doesn't really fit our scheme. So what are we going to do? We just drafted 2 receivers this year. We drafted the tight end we were like last year. We're going to take an offensive tackle. It's a question of which offensive tackle we're going to take. Paris Johnson Jr. is the guy, the next guy up, I guess, at Ohio State, along with Dolan Jones. Broderick Jones is projected to take a jump next year. Jackson Kirkland's back to school. Andre Voorhees back to school. I don't understand why Ryan Hayes is this highly ranked. He wasn't that good this past year. Zion Nelson returned to school. Peter Skoronski. There you go. That's his last name. I was sighing because I knew I was gonna mispronounce that at first, but I actually pulled it out pretty good. Skoronski is the most proven guy to me at this point. I think he's been the most consistent so far in his college career. And Pittsburgh needs offensive tackle help. I don't care they re-signed Okorafor. I don't care they drafted Dan Moore Jr. last year. They were both terrible. So, Skoronski. Minnesota picking at the spot they would have picked this past year, I'm pretty sure. And skip, they traded back all the way to the back end of the first round. What do they need? I don't know the Vikings quickly as well as I know the teams I've drafted for so far. The Vikings, maybe a replacement for Adam Thielen is going to be in line at some point. I imagine that could be a pickup. They really need tight end help as well. Michael Mayer could be an option if Aerosmith Jr. does not rebound from the injuries he suffered recently. We might actually call in the depth chart here, courtesy of our lads. Let's actually take a look real quick. The Vikings, to me, are always the team that I struggle to draft for some reason. In the fact that I have a lot of players I like on the Vikings, but for some reason I never can pin down their exact draft needs. Their tackles, their finite tackle, linebacker maybe. Oh, cornerback's going to be a need for sure. Because Patrick Peterson really probably shouldn't even be a start at this point in his career. No offense to Pat P. He's a future Hall of Fame dude, but not someone who I would want to start at this point in his career, considering what we've seen so far. And the top cornerback remaining for me, yeah, this is not great for this spot. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping to be more blown away. Because there are some good corners in this draft class. I don't know if there's anyone I want to draft this high. Why is Storm Duck not popping up? I would take it. Wow, that low. Okay. Yeah, this is why I said that this board's a little bit confusing sometimes for me. Or for everyone involved, I guess. I'm going to give him, I don't think Joe Porter Jr. is going to get that high. I'm going to give him Clark Phillips III from Utah. He's a highly underrated cornerback in this draft class. I don't know if I'll ever have him go this high when I get time to sit down and write out for myself. But that being said, I could see him probably being the most productive, or at least the most proven cornerback of the guys ranked up this high on the board. Philadelphia Eagles. They already fixed their defensive line. To the most part, they've addressed that, frankly, in a bit of an overtop manner in the past. So let's talk about what they need. Oh, this is going to take way longer than 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. I have deceived you. I'm going to actually be here for 20 minutes. I did not intend to actually get this invested in this video, but we are here now. So, yeah, I'm going to give him wide receiver. We'll give him the guy from LSU. He missed most of this past year, but he was really productive as a rookie. So I think he'll fit nice in Philadelphia. And I know Eagles fans will hate to see that, but hey, live with it. Get over it. Raiders, Brian Brzee, nice and simple. Interior defensive lineman help. That will fix that position to some extent. Miami Dolphins are a tricky team to draft for because they frankly run a scheme I hate. I hate Miami's scheme. Miami's such a tricky team to draft for, although they do have a new head coach. So, this could be a linebacker, actually. I know people love Noah Sewell. I'm not, frankly, as high on him as everyone else. There was someone else other than... There was someone else I was looking at to be a linebacker. I don't know who it was now. All right, I guess maybe not. Oh, well. We are going to go Trenton Simpson from Clemson. I think there was someone else who I think I view as a higher ranked linebacker, but I've lost track of who it was. So Trenton Simpson's going to go there. Then when Patriots on the clock, actually they draft wide receivers horribly. Let's not go there. Joey Porter Jr., big physical dude. I think that's not the best fit, but I'm willing to make that pick for them because it's the Patriots. I don't really care what happens to them. The Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Quarterback there, I got Desmond Ridder. They do need some tight end help. They have not had a guy since Jalen Smith. Michael Mayer is by far the best tight end available, but it's be a little bit early for him. And this is very wonky. I need to correct this. I need to start submitting my big board so I can fix some of these rankings. But anyways, what are we doing here? What are we doing for Tennessee. We do need to get some of these tackles off the board. So I'm probably going to go tackle here. Just give me a second to double check something. This is a very rough draft, by the way. Like, I am very rough on my knowledge of all these guys. I am just starting to step into this draft class. So don't fault me if I screw some stuff up royally. It's bound to happen anyways. They're going to go wide receiver. Josh Downs is a little bit too similar, I think, to some extent to what they're going to have on the roster. Dante Demas is a much bigger receiver coming off an injury season. He's just, frankly, an athletic freak, and you trade away one of those dudes in A.J. Brown, so try get one back. That brings up Houston again. We've already taken Bryce Young for them. Good thing, too. What else do they need at this point? There's some options here. Oh, we're going to go Miles Murphy. We're going to give you an edge rusher. Yeah, we'll do that. Philadelphia on the board again. This is the Saints pick, I believe. They got a wide receiver already. Let's see what they can get now. I don't know. Lane Johnson, I should probably look at when Lane Johnson's contract ends, because I imagine that would become a sticking point at some time for Philadelphia in the near future. Your interior offensive line, you keep drafting in that spot, so you're going to be fine there. You've drafted Jason Kelce's replacement twice already, so you're good at that point. Let's see. Corner is a problem. Corner is a very tough position to draft for right now because his board is all over the place. But I would think Storm Duck's the guy who was projected to be a second-round pick going into last year, got hurt quite a bit. I think he'll rebound very nicely this year. Baltimore always drafts the good players who fall too far. They drafted too many times this year to really pick Michael Mayer, though. Bijan Robinson probably too early for a linebacker. Ooh, yeah, let's give him Nolan Smith. I don't think this is really the position they need the most, frankly, but this is just Baltimore. They take good players, so that's my pick for them. Brings up Arizona. I think wide receiver will become more of a bigger issue for them. I know I just traded from Hollywood Brown, but frankly, I think with the DeAndre Hopkins suspension, his age could potentially become an issue. I'm just going to give him Josh Downs. Seattle's on the board again. They gave Tyler Van Dyke. I should have waited to get quarterback here. That would have made more sense. But oh well. Things happen. Seattle. Let's look at their board a little bit. I used to cover Seattle for a website called the NFL Spin Zone. I was heavily involved in the Seahawks and everything they did. But I've kind of lost track of Seattle, to be honest, over the past 2 years. I have not been involved in that role. They've put some effort into drafting edge rushers recently, but none have really turned out. Boyan Mafi's the most recent attempt. They got Terry Smith as well. They got two corners this past draft, two guys who were really versatile in Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant. It's tough because they've kind of thrown a little bit of everything into here. Let's look at the interior offensive lineman. That's not great, frankly. I'm not loving it. What? The Jordan McFadden's ranking him as an interior offensive lineman? That's some bull. That's some bull right there. I'm going to take him. We're going to draft all the Clemson guys in the first round. And part of it's because I've just seen so much of them, frankly. I know more about these guys than the other players in this draft class. The Chargers. Yes. What do you need? They still have one hole in the offensive line, right? Because they're going to have a hole at right tackle. Okay. Let's address that. Paris Johnson, sure. Go there. Miami again. We gave him a linebacker first off. We could have given him a linebacker here. It would have made more sense. Their offensive line is still a bit of a scrap heap, if I recall. I've slowed down. I wanted to get this video done way earlier than this. I apologize for taking so long. Yeah, I should just start throwing picks in this point. I'm taking far too long. Yep, we're going to go Zion Nelson. Indianapolis. Michael Mayer. Dallas. Let's get the overall board. Oh, Dallas screams Bijan Robinson. Are you kidding me? Keep him in Texas. That would absolutely be one of the picks they would take. Bengals. Where would you go? They invested heavily in the secondary this year, which, frankly, I mean, I think the slot wide receiver role might be something they would address in the future if they get rid of Tyler Boyd. I don't know which one of these guys are primarily slot receivers, though. That's the concern with me. I will give you Marvin Mims. Actually, I'm going to give you Raquin Jarrett. I feel pretty comfortable with him developing well this year. There are other receivers like down the board too, but we're going to start with Raquin Jarrett. Detroit again gave him Jalen Carter. This time around, it's going to be quarterback. It'll be Phil Dracovic. Then we get to Green Bay. Let's see what we have on the board. They've definitely, there's some mess up here with the secondary. I can tell. Oh, there's a safety I really like. I'm going to take him. Safety can be very versatile, play a little everything for them. Cornerback, Kansas City again. What do you need? Not a running back, that's for sure. Wide receiver help. There's some wide receivers here who are probably going the first round. I can guarantee it. Almost definitely guarantee there are some guys on that board who will go in the first round. This one, why is Zach Harrison listed here? Like, I don't like this is the thing. Zach Harrison, Tyler Davis play completely different roles. Zach Harrison is a edge rusher, but he's listed as a defensive lineman, which is throwing me off. Which is why I'm going to make some big mistakes here. I can guarantee it. This was meant to be a short video. It's turned into quite a long video, so I apologize for that. It was not my intention. We are going to go ahead and just punt on this pick. We're going to take another edge rusher, even though I know it probably doesn't make sense based on what they've already done. We're going to go ahead and get – actually, we're going to get Zach Harrison here. Yeah. Tampa Bay. Word on the street is Kyle Trask has underperformed up to this point. So I'm assuming they're going to go try to get QB because Tom Brady will retire very soon, if not at the end of the next year for sure. Spencer Rattler's still there, but I think I'm actually going to throw a little bit of surprise here and go for a trade-space pick and take Cameron McKee from Stanford. Brings it the Bills, who are the favorites to win the Super Bowl this coming year. Look at the overall board. Noah Sewell, I think people are still a little too high on, frankly, for my liking. Jordan Battle's here. Yeah, Jordan Battle actually might not be a bad pick for Buffalo, given some of the contract situations they have. There's a lot of talent I left on the board here. I'm not going to lie. I feel bad for leaving some of these guys on the board. Yeah, we're going to go Jordan Battle. All right. And that is the most scuffed 2023 mock draft you've seen so far. Yeah, I will definitely improve and do a lot more of these in the future. But you can see here's the recap really quickly. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. You can read through the rest of the names for yourself. I'll keep scrolling while I talk. This was totally scuffed. I did not plan to do this per se. I just happened to have the house to myself. I thought, oh, what a great time to record a video. And so I recorded this video, and yeah. I'll do better next time. I promise you. Yeah, I'm going to definitely take some time to dig into these prospects, start putting together my own positional rankings way ahead of the season, so that way I can use those in the future when trying to do a mock draft like this. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you stuck around for this whole time, something seriously wrong with you. But I do appreciate you guys sticking around. I appreciate you guys taking time of your day to watch this video. It does really mean a lot to me. But anyways, thank you. And I promise, like I said, to do better next one, and hope to see you there next time. Bye-bye.